Whatever happens, happens. That's what Braden Maynard said about the possibility of leaving Collingwood. Let's talk about it. So I wasn't going to make this video, but there's been a couple of interesting news stories that have come out today, mainly about Braden Maynard, Darcy Cameron, and Oscar Allen, that I just want to talk about. The biggest one being Braden Maynard, who is literally the biggest out of contract Collingwood player at the moment. So at the end of 2025, or by the end of 2025, we have 22 players out of contract. Here's the list up here of the players that we have out of contract. Of those players, some of them are rookies, some of them are the older players. So you're looking at Elliott, Pendles, Cox, Mitchell, Myercheck, Sidebottom, Howe, Will Hoskin Elliott. So you would think that's a raft of those retire. With Tom Mitchell's not even a re-injury. He's had a bit of a setback with his foot injury. It's his other foot now, and now he's a TBC. It's just sad because Tom Mitchell, he was one of those players that was a catalyst of us winning the 2023 Premiership, kind of like what Luke Ball was. When he went down last year at Anzac Day, you could see how much we missed that in and under. But does the emergence of Ned Long, who had a career best game last week against Port Adelaide, and the inclusion of Harry Perryman, does that offset Tom Mitchell's absence a little bit? I dare say it does. Does that mean Tom Mitchell might retire by the end of the year if he can't get his feet right? Maybe. That is definitely going to be a wait and see. But of those 22 players, the biggest name at the moment is Braden Maynard. Now, Maynard, he is heart and soul Collingwood. He bleeds black and white. We know that the Kangaroos came really, really hard for him last year, and he chose to turn his back on them. Now, clubs like the Kangaroos, St Kilda, there's probably a couple of other clubs, but those two clubs have huge war chests where they have a lot of money to throw at these players. I think the Kangaroos offered him in excess of $1 million. If St Kilda was sort of going after him, I know they're after TDK at the moment, but they could offer him in excess of $1 million. If he goes anywhere, it would probably be to North Melbourne. But, this story has been going on for a while. I know we made a video about it. It was probably last year. But today, some quotes in the Herald Sun really rubbed me the wrong way. So in February, Maynard said that a deal would be done soon at Collingwood, but he's going to focus on his season, his 2025 season, which is fair enough. A lot of uncontracted players or players that are seeking contract extensions will focus on their year, and then if they're playing good, kind of like Bobby Hill, he's contracted to the end of next year. But if they're playing well, they can command a little bit more money. But the thing that rubbed me the wrong way about Braden Maynard were these quotes. Now, Maynard said, "Look, I'm going to let my footy do the talking for the next little while." Fair enough. "I said a little while ago I would feel weird in another jumper." Fair enough. "But it is a business, so whatever happens, happens." Whatever you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? Saying whatever happens, happens, and it's a business, is that some subtle foreshadowing? I don't want it to be, because he goes on to say, "I love Collingwood and we have a great culture here, so we will see what happens." But just whatever happens, happens. I say that when I order a coffee and it comes out incorrect and they have sugar. It's like, oh, it is what it is. Whatever happens, happens. Like blah 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 blah. For a player who bleeds black and white to come out and say that, I think they were definitely the wrong comments to be saying. Especially, it's a business. We know it's a business, but those comments didn't need to be said unless he was hinting towards something. Now, he is an uncontracted free agent, so if he does leave, I'm pretty sure we do get something for him. Not so much as a restricted free agent. He's an uncontracted free agent. So, do I think Braden Maynard leaves? I didn't think he would leave at all. But now, with that comment, it's just it's just put this doubt into my mind and a doubt into a lot of these people that have been commenting on my Instagram post as well. If Brozzy leaves, I'll stop supporting the club. Or, someone said that almost sounds like Brozzy wouldn't mind a move. What the hell? Oh, no, I will not recover. Don't do it. So there's a lot of unrest within Collingwood supporters now that the Herald Sun has released this. And we know that it's not the Herald Sun just speculating, because these are actual quotes from Brayden Maynard. I hope the deal gets done straight away. They keep saying, oh, Harry Perriman's on 800, 900. Dan Houston's on 800, 900. Brayden Maynard should be on that sort of amount of money as well. And I'm sure that they're working on it. I'm sure that he will get there. But I think just that little spanner in the works, that whatever happens, happens. I just don't think that was the right thing to say at this time, especially after coming back from I think the SEN said that was his third highest rated game of his entire career, of his 211 game career. That was his highest rated, or third highest rated game. So that would put North Melbourne, the club, and so their supporters as well, on high alert, saying, hang on, maybe he's entertaining a move. Could we really have a go at him now that he's uncontracted and we don't have to trade for him like we would have had to last season? What do you think? Do you think Brayden Maynard stays, or do you think he goes? In this Herald Sun article, Darcy Cameron's name was thrown around as well. We know that it's been said that the teams from Western Australia, West Coast Eagles and Fremantle, mainly the Eagles, were keeping tabs on him. But now it looks like Carlton are also considering him for a fallback option if TDK leaves and goes to St Kilda. It's saying here that Darcy Cameron seems determined to test the market despite his status as a contracted player. So if anyone was to make a move for Darcy Cameron this season, it would need to be traded for. Carlton don't have any good picks at all. Darcy Cameron is a premiership ruckman. He is on about $500,000. Probably could command around 650 to 700,000, especially with these new CBAs, and there's going to be one in 2027 coming through as well. You can't really compare that to Harry Perriman and Dan Houston because they're three totally different players. The pitfall that Collingwood can't fall into is overpaying for a ruckman, like we did with Brodie Grundy, and then having that on our books. I think 500,000 is, you got to think when we did sign Darcy Cameron, he came for a bag of chips. He was an unknown commodity, but they saw potential in him, and now he's a premiership player. So I think that he's definitely someone that clubs would want, but definitely someone that Collingwood need to keep, especially since, we have untried rucks. Oscar Steen could be anything. Iluru Smith could be anything, but they're still only, 19 and 20 or 20 and 21. They're still really young. Haven't played any senior football. The only senior football that was played by a ruckman was Aiden Begg, and he got delisted last season. Mason Cox probably won't be there next year. Dan McStay's not going to be a full-time ruckman. And unless we bring someone else in, we don't have another ruckman that could step up if Darcy Cameron leaves. Maybe my sort of conspiracy theory is towards the end of the year, if we start seeing games into Iluru Smith, if we start seeing senior games into Oscar Steen, I think that could be a clear indication that Darcy Cameron has said to the club, I want to leave by the end of the year. I just don't know why, if he does want to leave, which I don't think he does, but if he does want to leave, I don't see why you would leave. If it's just for money, Collingwood just need to offer him a little bit more money. And with Carlton, Carlton are considering him as a fallback option. It's just a little bit weird as well, mainly because Carlton don't have the money. And you would think anyway with all their contracts, and they definitely don't have any picks to trade for. So that is definitely a wait and see. The last guy that was mentioned on Gettable today was Oscar Allen. Now, Oscar Allen looks like he has offers from Hawthorn and Brisbane. He's only, 25, 26, a key forward, West Coast captain as well. And they're saying that Collingwood could potentially go after him.
Collingwood, as I reported last week, has interest as well. So they are a watch. Keep an eye on the Magpies in the Oscar Allen chase.
Which would be really interesting given his injury history. I remember reading somewhere last year that Oscar Allen's knees were that of like a 32, 33-year-old or something like that, because he has had a lot of those injuries. That's going to be another wait and see. But a 26-year-old key forward, you don't really say no to that if he passes his medicals, if he can perform at that level that we know he can perform at. Does Oscar Allen stay at West Coast while they're rebuilding, or does he want to play for a top 4 side, or a side that's at least competing for finals every single year, getting that ball use from a Nick Dacos, from a Dan Houston? And he would be a good option when Myercheck, McStay, and or Membry do retire in the next couple of years. So that's going to be another wait and see. And I don't really know. I think he follows Barras and goes to Hawthorn. He already has that connection there, especially with Sam Mitchell, who was an assistant at the Eagles. So that could be a a relationship that kind of sees him there. Brisbane are definitely looking for another key forward. So I think Brisbane and West Coast are in prime position. But it is another, like Darcy Cameron, a watch this space on Oscar Allen. Would you like Oscar Allen at the club? I'm kind of warming to the idea, but again, I need to see what he looks like by mid-season, how his injuries are holding up, how his body is holding up. Even though he's 26 and very young, it's just going to be, it's a tantalizing prospect, but I don't want another, Quinton Lynch at the club, so to say. But that's the 3 biggest names that have been thrown around for possible trades, possible contract news. Bobby Hill has gone a little bit quiet. He is definitely letting his footy do the talking and will most likely stay at Collingwood from what I'm hearing and get that extension going past 2026. But let me know your thoughts down below. Maynard, Cameron, Oscar Allen. Let's just say keep one, bench one, and say no to one. Let me know your thoughts down below. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. And until next time, Double Shackers, I'll swoop you later.